It's time to wrap up June. Let's go. Welcome or welcome back to Reading Sprints and Chai Sips. I'm your girl Sasha Bonet, and usually I give a big breakdown of my reading month, but this time I'm not going to do that. June was audiobook month, and when I tell you I had a ball, my favorite genre is romance. Therefore, romance was in my ears at all times of the day. I especially love to listen to a audiobook when I'm driving because I'm into it, but I'm driving, right? Nothing else is on my mind but driving and listening to that audiobook. And like many other people, I can't listen to an audiobook really just to listen because your mind starts to wander, especially mine. I don't know about you, but mine does. So I read or listened to so many audiobooks this month. However, I'm not going to go through all of those because that would take up so much time. But I am going to go through the ones that I think mean the most. Let's get into that. So I found AshleyNicole. She is a Black author, and in her I found the Mason family saga. This saga that you're seeing right now, I am all caught up. I think there's one that I haven't read, but I don't think it's on audiobook yet. And as I said, I was listening to these on audiobook. So I started and finished this series. Well, I started and caught up in this series in the month of June. AshleyNicole is a funny writer. Yeah, her writing is funny, it's hilarious, it's loving, it's caring. The men are good men. And let me just sum the series up for you. The Mason family we're getting through the cousins of this family. This is a big family where the grandmother has so many grandchildren, one girl and about 29 boys. So it's 30 cousins all together, and they all look like their grandmother. They all are, I'm guessing, pretty fair skinned. They're light skinned boys and one girl, Taylor, and with pretty eyes. And you really can't tell them apart. There is a set of triplets in there as well, one mirror, and I forgot what the third one is called, but it's a fun series. It's very entertaining. The women are phenomenal and funny, and so are the men. It's hilarious. The last one I read was Grow and Tell, where sometimes men don't often show you what they're working with. Sometimes you just gotta wait and see. And it was a good time. So I would recommend this series. It was a fun time. Now, if you don't know, this year I'm going to CoCo Con. This will be my third year of going to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. I did not plan it that way, but here we are. So some of the audiobooks were kind of like my CoCo Con Recon, if you know what I mean. Because again, I get to meet these authors, I get to pre-order books, and I get to buy books there if I want to. So in order to pre-order these books, I have to read from these authors. So let's talk about my CoCo Con Recon mission. So the books that I found out that I want to buy from CoCo Con, or pre-order rather, would be Kay Shani's Sunshine and Rain. I read it. It was adorable. His name is Sunshine and her name is Rain, and they just go together real bad. Next is T.M. Richardson with The Oath. It is a husband who is on his deathbed and tells his wife that he wants her to continue to be loved, right? They had a loving relationship and they took care of each other. They have one grown son who's in college, I believe, and he is he's gay and he's live laugh loving, but he's about to pass. So he tasked his 3 best friends to give her the love that he can no longer give her once he's gone. I thought it was great. Next is Natisha Rayner and Carried Away and Justice. These are the Treacherous Twins series, and I am going to get this series from Natisha Rayner. I have to. I was looking on Baventi. That's the site where we can pre-order these books for CoCo Con, and at first I did not see it on there, but it's because she combined the series into one omnibus, and we all know If there's something I like, it's an omnibus. So I'm going to pick that one up. The next one is Mel Daw. I love her. I have so many of her books, and I've met her twice. And I'm also going to see her again this year. But the books that I've recently read that I want to pre-order from her, on top of other books that I've already read but do not own from her, Post of True Soulmates and Read the Room. Now, Post of True Soulmates is an acronym also because the female character in this book has POTS. And I know some of you may have just recently heard of POTS from that documentary, which I will not name, but it is a real thing and people do have it. And if you read this book, you'll see how it works in this way. And I even looked it up. It's very interesting. And again, I've never heard of this, but it was a phenomenal read. I enjoyed it so much. Here was a new author to me, Connie Easton, and I read Man of the Year, and the rest of that series, just because the Man of the Year is coming home with me when I go to CoCo Con, okay? I enjoyed it so much. And Aisha Bree, who I've met before, have so many of her books as well, and Allure will be another one. This book is a part of not an interconnected series, but it kind of is. The series is an arranged marriage series where it's like 7 or 8 authors write their own version of a romance in arranged marriage form with the same marriage company. So the same marriage company is in all of these books. However, the couples change. Some of the side characters might stay the same. And I've enjoyed some, I haven't some others. Some were very heavy and others were just entertaining and fun. And Allure was one of those that I really enjoyed, so I will be picking that one up. And those are all of the audiobooks that I'm going to discuss in this video. But if you follow me over on Goodreads, you can see every audiobook that I read in the month of June and beyond. And you can go from there if you're just looking to see what I actually read in its entirety. Now let's get to the books that came off of my physical TBR shelves that I attempted to read, that I DNF'd, that I'm going to unhaul, and that I actually read and finished. Let's get into that. First is Skated Till You Make It by Rufaro Faith Mazarura. I DNF'd this because this book seemed to be on that vein of an FMC who seems to only date white men because she's in proximity to white men. Her parents sent her to white schools. She's in a predominantly white sport. And she allows these men to treat her like absolute shit. And then the black MMC comes along and now she has morals and standards. And I don't like those kind of books because continue to not have morals and standards with the next man. It's no need for this kind of dynamic in a book. To me, it gets annoying and redundant. So this one was a DNF for me. Next is The Rewrite by Lizzie Damalola Blackburn. I read Inca, Where Is Your Husband? And Yinka? I think her name was Yinka. So Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? And I enjoyed it. It was chaotic because Yinka was chaotic. But it seems like Lizzie Damalola Blackburn likes chaotic FMCs, and that's not the problem of this. I DNF'd this one because our FMC wants to be a writer, and she lies to, I think the lady is her agent, and says, hey, I'm almost finished with the book. And her agent says, yeah, okay, sure, but I have an opportunity for you. Someone wants you to help to ghostwrite their, I think it's a memoir or something. And she comes to find out it's a guy, her ex, and they broke up because he did not tell her that he signed up for this Love Island type TV show. So they broke up. But at the end of this book, you know that they're going to end up together. Why? I'm not going to go too deep into this one because there is a video where I attempted to read this book, but Blair Underwood with Tanina Reeve Dew and Stephen Barnes, Casa Negra. And this is a Tennyson Hardwick novel where Tennyson Hardwick is a retired gigolo who used to slang penis for money, and now he's a detective. It just didn't sit right with me, the storytelling or him just being a detective, period. Amateur sleuths annoy me. This one disappointed me. The ending writes itself by Evelyn Clark because it was boring. The setup, it seems like this book took the 33% of the book that I actually read. It took that much time to set the book up or to set the plot up for it to begin. And it wasn't even an interesting setup. It was boring to me. So I DNF'd it at 33%. I wasn't going to go any further. 365 Days by Blanca Lipinska. This is going to sound real childish, but I DNF'd this book because of, I believe it may be the translation. Now, I do not speak Polish. I don't speak the Polish language. So obviously I am not going to read this in its original language, but the the translation of this irritated me because it's so cut and dry in places, and the word penis was used a lot in 25%. Also, I've watched all 3 movies based in this universe from this adaptation, of these books. And I had a great time because it's not to be, in my opinion, it's not to be taken seriously. However, in this format, it's even more ridiculous than it is as movies, because in the first 25%, which is all that I really got through, I think maybe a little bit more than 25%, he says to her, I won't touch you. I won't do anything to make you uncomfortable. I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm a wait till you come to me because you're gonna want me so bad, and I'm giving you 365 days to do that. The issue with that is it goes away almost immediately because he starts humping on her, and she slaps him and says, I thought you said you weren't gonna touch me. And he basically threatens her and is like, you keep pushing my buttons and I might have to kill you. That's not sexy. So I don't know if that's translation or if that's actually how the book goes, and the show, the movies just changed it to, she's so attracted to him that she doesn't stop. But it's a no for me. I don't like those kind of stories. That doesn't wet my whistle. Here's a special edition that I'm getting rid of, and it is My Darling Arrow by Saffron A. Kent. I only read about 2 to 3 chapters of this one, and I didn't get far because you find out that she's like it can't be high school, so I'm gonna say it's college. She's about to turn, I want to say 18 or 19 or something like that. And you find out that she's in love with her sister's boyfriend. She's had a crush on him since she was 8, he was 15. I don't care at that point. Sister's boyfriend, you were 8, he was 15. Make it make sense. And you're still in love, and we're 10 years later. And then she also says things like, but we've never really spoken. And it's like, how do you have a crush on someone that does not see you, does not like you, and that doesn't belong to you? Like, it's just weird. I don't like stories like this either. Next is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This could be a perfectly great book. I just do not like cozy fantasy. I don't like cozy anything. Anything cozy bores me. So that's just what this is. And while I was reading this, nothing was sticking. So this one had to go. And in that same vein is this one. Nothing stuck while I was reading it. So if someone was to ask me what this was about, the little bit of it that I did read, I can't even tell you because, again, nothing stuck. Next is Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. I didn't like it. I had to DNF it just because I was bored. I didn't care. I think a lot of books take so much time to set it up that it's feeding you all of the information without showing you anything, not the world, not through language. It's just telling you, my father did this and now I don't like him, and now I'm gonna take over where he it's telling you everything, and you don't get to feel anything. You don't get to see anything. And that was this, so I had to DNF. For She is Wrath by Emily Varga. This one is disappointing because I love a wrathful, vengeful story. Take John Gwynn's Bloodsworn trilogy. Commit murders, right? Get your lick back on these people who have wronged you. And in this, in the first couple of chapters, first of all, it's a prison scene or prison location that goes on way longer than I expected it to, especially since that's not the main focus of this whole entire story. It goes on for way too long. Then it started to bore me because there's a person who's telling her you don't have to kill, you don't have to. And I'm like, that's not the type of story I signed on for. I signed on for kill everybody, take their heads. They wronged you, do what needs to be done. And that's not the kind of story I signed up for when you're like, well, I don't have to, you know, I can be a better person. You could be, but should you be? I don't know. I had to DNF it. Next is A Magic Steeped in Poison. I just felt like I've aged out mentally in my reading for this story. So I already had both of them on my TBR. So since I DNF'd this one had to go as well. Someone is going to enjoy these. It's just not going to be me. Next is Where It Rains in Color by Denise Crittenden. A Technicolor of Afrofuturist fever dream of a book. I would agree with that because nothing made sense to me in the little bit of it that I read. And it started to not make sense so much that my brain started to literally hurt. I got a migraine reading this book and I put it down. War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. This is my second attempt at a Tochi Onyebuchi book. And it is also a science fiction, just like the first one was. I'm thinking that maybe, not that science fiction isn't my bag. I'm not giving up on science fiction just yet. I think that maybe Tochi Onyebuchi is not the author for me in science fiction. I do know that he has, I believe, fantasy that people say is really good. I'm going to try that. But I think science fiction by Tochi Onyebuchi just may not be for me. So I also read this sequel. This is book 2 of the Life After Death duology by Mia Monique, The Missing God's Lawyer. And this was a no for me. The first one was so good. The first one, oh my goodness, I ate it up in like a day. This one was not good to me for several reasons. The first being that the main focus is not on our two main characters, her and him, right? Our two, Joyce and what is his name? Joyce and the Grim Reaper. The focus is not on them, it's on the missing god. That takes away from the romantic feel. Like, for the majority of the book, they don't remember each other. Pisses me off. The second thing is that Joyce is unlikable in this book. I don't like in the first book where they give you this character that you fall in love with, and then in the second book you can't stand them, and then they don't really give you the opportunity to re-fall in love with them. So this book will be getting unhauled. I'll keep the first one. I'm not going to go too much into this one either because there is a video for this book as well. Never by Jessa Hastings. This book is a no for me. I would never go back and want to reread this book, so it has to come off of my shelves. Though I read it in its entirety, I think I gave it a 2 or 2.5. Go to my Goodreads and remind me because I don't know. Because of waiting for someone to turn 18 so that you can have sex with them is considered grooming. It's a part of that, and that's what happens in this book. Also, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the back and forth between Pan and Hook fighting over Daphne. It was just, it became too much, and I feel bad. I felt bad the whole time reading this for Hook. And Pan was never really, he wasn't in it enough for me to care about Peter Pan. And Daphne, I didn't care about her at all. So it was a Hook story for me. Now here's the arc that I read this month. Look What You Made Me Do by John Lanchester. And I got this book from W.W. Norton and Company, and it is said to be a story about baby boomers versus millennials, and that is not at all what this book is. And I think had I not gone into the book thinking that that's what it was, I wouldn't have been as disappointed with it, because this book is messy. This book is messy down. But I was waiting for the millennial baby boomer clash that this book never gave me. And so it was disappointing for me. I'm going to give it a 3-star. The library book, I'm not going to go too much into this one because, again, there is a video for this. But this is the second book in the Bride series by Ali Hazelwood. This one is 2 werewolves. One is a hybrid female human werewolf, and there aren't many of those, and she's made it to a pack leader. I enjoyed this one so much more than I did Bride, but I gave them both 4 stars. Next is The Deal Off Campus by L. Kennedy. I read this one. I watched the whole series of The Deal. I liked the book way more than I liked the show, and I will be reading the rest of the series. I really enjoyed this. Book club book for the month, Bible Study by Tia Love. This is my first Tia Love, and I enjoyed this book so much. I want to say I gave it a 5 stars, but it might be a 4.5 to a 5-star book. But this was our book club pick for June. It went well. I enjoyed this book, and I will be continuing to read from Tia Love from now on. Last but not least is Dan Brown's The Secret of Secrets, which was 300 pages too long for me. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It could have been better had it ended at the 50% mark. Like, if the first 50% was the whole book, I would have given it like a 4.5, but it wasn't. So it didn't do it for me, and I think I'm done with the Robert Langdon series after this, but we'll see. So that is my June wrap up. Those are all the books that I read, DNF'd, and will be unhauling. By the time this video goes up, these books are already on my Pango, so go get them if you would like. But yeah, that's it for me. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.